Hey guys, Jackie from Nonessential Media here, and you're listening to the Lifecast podcast. Just want to let you know that this is a podcast intended for people over the age of 13. It's unscripted, so we don't necessarily know what's going to come out of our mouths. If you are under the age of 18, please get your parents' permission before listening. I hope you guys stay tuned, and I hope you enjoy the episode. Thanks again.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Lifecast. My name is Rachel, and on today's episode, it's just gonna be me having a conversation with myself. So, I don't know where this is going or what I'm going to talk about, but this will definitely be interesting, so stay tuned. I know I do have one thing I'd like to get out of the way. Next week's episode falls on Halloween conveniently, so we had a few ideas as to what we're gonna do, but if you guys have any ideas or anything you guys would like to hear us talk about or act out, I guess, if you guys just have any ideas in general, comment below, reach out on social media, let us know, because we obviously want to give you what you guys want. So yeah, just let us know and we'll figure something out. But moving on, I guess, I really have no idea what I'm going to talk about. And I am not that interesting of a person by myself. So, this is really awkward and it's going to be interesting and we're going to embark on this together. Usually so for anyone that doesn't know, occasionally I stream on Twitch. So I'm used to talking to like a screen. That's not new for me, but I usually have a chat box that I'm interacting with, people through the chat box that I'm interacting with. But this is different because I don't have any questions or comments coming in while I'm talking. So, yeah, this is new territory. Very, very interesting. I guess with I'm trying to think of some topics. With it being the holiday season, or us coming into the holiday season, I really don't know. I feel like I'm gonna have to, I'm not one of those people that like to talk about myself, and I can't really be like, oh, hey guys, what's your favorite holiday drink? Because I'm not gonna get any kind of like instant response from that. So I feel like I have to talk about myself, but I don't really like talking about myself. So yeah, this is really weird. And I apologize for how many times I'm saying this is really weird, but it is. Anyway, I guess I'm just gonna have to talk about anything and everything. Trying to think if I have any fun stories or any interesting stories. And I guess I could go on a little rant, or I guess complaint I have, which this complaint isn't about, like, usually when someone complains, especially when it comes to like involving other people, it's usually the other person's fault. Well, in this case, it is my fault, and it is me ranting about how stupid I am sometimes. So anyway, I do school online. I'm going to school to become an elementary school teacher. And so I do everything at home online so I can stay at home with my daughter. So when I take proctored tests, I do it in a room closed off from everywhere. I have a webcam that people online watch me through, and I have to like do a whole view of the room, all that. It's very like official, I guess you can say. So anyway, I was taking a math test last week, and I had, my daughter was sleeping in the room nearby, and I was probably like, I was part way into my test. Like, I'd gotten in pretty far. And the way that I take tests is I like it, so I do it question by question, but if I don't know the question, I just skip it and go to the ones that I know how to answer first, and then I'll come back to the harder ones. So anyway, I had already looked at all of the questions, And then all of a sudden I hear my daughter yelling in the other room. She had just woken up from a nap. And Isaac was downstairs, and I was like, oh shoot, like he's not going to hear her. And she's just going to be in the room screaming for like the next 15, 20 minutes if I don't go get her. And I've taken probably now like 6, 7 proctored tests, and they give you the option to take a break. I've never taken a break until this moment. So I'm like, I'm just going to have to take a break, take her downstairs, get things situated. So I hit the take a break button, and a little screen pops up, and it's basically giving you instructions on like, it says like you only have 10 minutes to take a break. When you come back, you're going to have to do a whole view of the room again. And then you're going to have to, like it said something about questions, and it said that I had 2 unanswered questions still. And asked if I wanted to leave it like that. And I was like, yeah, that's fine, whatever. Not really reading through the questions because I wasn't thinking, obviously. So anyway, I hit okay, get up, the timer's on, go grab Chloe, take her downstairs. Then I come back upstairs. I'm gone for literally a minute and a half, get back to my test. And then I'm like, okay, perfect. And so I go back and try to answer the questions, and everything's grayed out. And I'm like, what the heck? Like, even the ones I haven't answered. And then I start thinking, I'm like, I'm just like confused. I'm thinking, why would they let me go on a break after I know the answers to, at least the questions? Like, I could easily go look up the answers. And so then it started to click that, oh, I don't think that I should have taken a break, because now it won't let me click anything. So I contact the proctored person, and I'm like, hey, I took a break. It won't let me click on anything. And then they mess around for like literally 15 minutes. I am like just sitting there awkwardly staring at the screen, not doing anything. And the woman comes back and she's like, oh, well, when you click take a break, it gives you that whole instructions that you agree to. And on there, it states that you can't, any questions you've already seen, you can't come back to and change your answer or select your answer. So those 2 questions that I didn't answer at all, I had already looked at, I couldn't go back and answer because I had left, which totally makes sense because obviously, like, I'm a truthful person. I could not live on my conscience doing that, like leaving the room, looking it up, coming back and answering it. But obviously there's other people out there that would. And so it makes sense why they wouldn't allow that, why they wouldn't let you come back and then answer those questions that you've already seen. So I literally had no choice but to submit the test as is. So I left it 2 questions unanswered. And when I went back through, when it was grayed out, because I was testing other questions to see if it would let me click those ones that I had already answered, I realized that I'd answered at least 3 of them wrong, and I wanted to change them, and I couldn't go back. So I submitted it, and I go to look at my results, maybe thinking that, maybe I answered just enough to get a passing grade. Sure enough, I didn't. And what makes it even worse is I barely missed it. So I was very upset with myself, because if I would have only read those instructions a lot clearer, I would have not done it. And then once you fail, you have to get approval from your teacher. So I contact my teacher. I explain the whole story, like, hey, it's my fault. I didn't read the instructions. My daughter was screaming. I was just trying to get her taken care of and come back real quick. Can you please approve the test again? I'm positive I can pass. I just left a few answers questions unanswered. And she comes back and emails me and tells me that she will not allow me to do the test again until I do a whole unit all the way through and pass with 80%, because we have like a separate work page that we go on and do all of the work on, I guess, before you take your official assessment. So like my math book, online math book, I guess you can say, and they have tests and quizzes on there and whatnot. So she wouldn't let me do it until I passed an 80% with that specific unit, I guess you could say. So then I had to spend a couple more days going through that whole unit, passing with the 80%, which honestly, it wasn't that too hard, but it was just an extra step and then I had to go back, take another test, and I made sure not to take a break, and I ended up passing, but barely, like just barely passing. I was so thankful though. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm done. And I'm not a math person at all. Like, I just have never, I love doing math, but I'm not good at it. It's not something that comes easily to me. I have to practice over and over again just to get something. So I'm done with all of my math courses now, which is amazing. And now I have to move on and take my basic skills exam, which is an actual proctored exam where I have to go into like a local college nearby and take a test there. And I can't get in Washington State, where we are, you can take the exam and still get your teaching license without passing it, but the college that I go to will not allow you to move on or won't give you a degree without you passing it. So although my state doesn't allow me to, the college does. So I have to pass it, and it's math, reading, and writing. Reading and writing I've never had a problem with, but math is the part where I'm like, oh my gosh. And you have to pay a good chunk of change to take this test, and if you fail, you have like a waiting period before you can take it again, and then you have to pay. I don't think it's like the full amount, but you still have to pay again to retake it. And so I'm starting a new class right now on top of practicing my math to keep up on it. So that's my fun little story where I was totally upset with myself. And in those moments where you just wish you can blame anyone else, you just want to put it on someone else so you don't have to like bear the burden knowing that it was all your fault. I was trying to find ways, and I was like, you know what, I can't. Like, this is all 100% my fault. So the takeaway from that, read instructions all the way through, even if you think you shouldn't do it, because the one time you don't, it will be the one time you really need to. So yeah, that sucked, but moved on, passed it. It was just one of those moments where I was really upset. So yeah, that's my fun little story for you guys. I don't really know how interesting that was, or if anyone really cared, but yeah, if you guys have any other stories like that or can relate, let me know, because I'd love to not feel alone in those moments. I'm sure I'll probably have many more down the path of life, because that's what life's about. Let me see if I can think of anything else. Or I really don't know. This is hard. It's so much easier having someone to bump ideas off of. I guess I could talk about Christmas time. Christmas is my favorite holiday. I feel like it's a lot of people's favorite holiday, but it definitely is my favorite holiday. And this year, my husband and I have been paying off debts like crazy. So we're planning to do a cash-only Christmas, which is different for us because every year previously we've used cash, but we've also used a lot of credit cards. So this year we're using no credit cards, which will be interesting. It will be good. It will be really good, but it will still be interesting because it's something we're not used to and it's new to us. But I've been trying to make lists upon lists of who I need to get gifts for and how much we spend on each person, and then you have to factor in a whole bunch of different things, which probably aren't really necessary, but they're like the fun things to do, like little exciting activities or get Christmas pictures done. We definitely need to do that though, because we haven't gotten pictures, like family pictures done since I've had Chloe. Blake and I went and got photos done like 2 years ago of just us, but we haven't gotten pictures with Chloe yet. So that's something I really want to do this year. And they're just fun. It's fun to give those, I don't know, like fun little keepsake gifts of family photos to older family members, I guess you can say. Like Blake's grandparents, because they're older and they already have everything they could want. So this is something more, I guess, family oriented, more personal, because I really have no other ideas as to what to get them or other family members, because at this point everyone just buys whatever they want for themselves, which makes it hard when their birthdays or holidays comes around. But I guess I can't say much because I'm the same way. Like if I ever really want something, I just get it myself, or I consider getting it for myself for months and months and months, and then forget about it eventually, and then realize I never really needed it. That doesn't happen very often. Usually I do end up buying it, and then I realize I didn't really need it, and I wasted all that money buying it. Yeah. If that's not the truth, I don't know what is. Okay, I'm gonna stop rambling on because I'm literally sitting in my room by myself like a super awkward hermit talking to my phone. But I appreciate you guys listening along to my rants and my awkward self. You guys are all amazing. And tune in next week to our Halloween special. And like I said before, if you guys have any ideas at all, let us know, because we would love to incorporate our listeners' ideas any way we can. I hope you all have a wonderful evening, and tune in to next week.
Hey guys, Jackie from Nonessential Media here again. I just want to say thank you so much for listening. Please reach out to us. We want to get to know you guys. We want to hear from you guys. You can get a hold of us on Twitter at NonEssentialM. We also have a Facebook page. Just search Nonessential Media on Facebook. We also have our own website, nonessentialmedia.com. And there you can learn more about us, the creators, as well as our other projects and our other podcasts, which include stuff like Chaos Fiction and Zeros of the Tabletop. One last thing, we do have a Patreon. Please check it out. We got some really cool rewards, some interesting tiers. You can see behind the scenes stuff. We got some special content we want to get to you guys. We also have something unique called Non-Essential Personnel. So get on Patreon, check it out. And once again, thank you guys so much for listening. We do appreciate your support. Take care of yourselves. We love you guys. Love yourself. And we'll see you again on the next episode.